Hello. Hi. This is Paul Glumaz, and this is March 12th, 2021. And this is being brought to you by General Welfare Presents. Okay. We have an incredible situation developing in this country where the policies associated with the illegitimate occupant in the White House are now going into complete collision with the economic realities and the political realities on the ground. Okay, so I'll start with the first one. Given the increasing unpopularity of this illegitimate occupation, as they seek to implement the Great Reset, the policies of the international bankers, the confiscation of people's savings, in return they'll offer them digital currencies in a universal income. Given what's coming, and given the realities of the policies that are coming through, massive opposition can be expected, and not just from the political base of Donald Trump, which is a large part of the country, but from progressives, regular Democrats, regular independents. It's growing. Now, to consolidate and make sure that the vote fraud apparatus that was developed during the 2020 election is applied nationally and enforced, this bill that's now going to the Senate, House Resolution 1, which I think now is going to be Senate Resolution 1. That bill overrides the power of the states and establishes a national election guideline system. It will be challenged in court if it is passed, but it is an act of desperation to consolidate the illegitimacy and a perpetual illegitimacy from then on, an end to democracy as we know it, an end to the republic as we know it. Now, this bill is just one of a number of things which are being rammed down the throats of the American people. And it can be stopped. If the filibuster in the Senate is employed, it probably can be stopped. And despite the Mitch McConnells who would probably go along with it, or the Lindsey Grahams who go along with it. Now, you know this because there's a hysteria about the filibuster now. There's a massive hysteria about the filibuster. So that's the first thing. Now, to assist in the process of ramming this through, a big deal is being made of the trial of the George Floyd trial, or Floyd George, I think it is, and that's now starting to occur. And the massive mobilization of Antifa has resulted in the governor having to bring in, I believe, the National Guard. So that's another situation. I mean, the population is tired of these kind of riots and these kind of tactics that are being run. So now, if HR 1 or now HB 1 is passed, or SR 1 is passed, Senate Resolution 1 is passed, and it withstands the Supreme Court challenge, then essentially you're going to see the states, the red states, the states like Texas and Florida, are not going to follow. They're going to resist. So you're going to have a confrontation on this between the states and the federal government. This is a showdown which would come as a result of this. The second situation, which is very extreme, is what is happening on the border. all the measures that Trump had put in place with the support of the local governors to deal with this border situation. And keep in mind, it's not just a question of people coming across the border. It's about the Mexican drug cartels. It's about keeping the drug trade and the human trafficking and all of that comes with it under, to begin to go after that. And in this, there was a tremendous collaboration between the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and Lopez and AMLO, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. They cooperated, and they managed to get some kind of stability going, and they kind of to arrest the growing influence to a large degree of the Mexican cartels, who are growing, who are now becoming more and more technologically sophisticated. Now, you have to understand that the Mexican drug cartels are a principal ally with Biden, Kamala Harris, the Obama apparatus. This is one of their main allies. And now, by Biden's actions on the border, they've given the green light to these cartels to start to move, to increase their power within Mexico and increase their power within the United States. The situation is so bad on the Texas border that the governor of Texas, Abbott, has now calling out the National Guard and the Texas Rangers to assist the border security. In other words, the state of Texas is going to act in a manner similar to how the United States government would act in defiance of this illegitimate occupation of the White House. This just gives you a sense of this. This just gives you a sense of this. The third thing, Biden gave this presentation, and it was all focused on the vaccines. And the basic gist of it is the lockdown is going to continue until July 4th. And there's a whole crisis around the schools. There's a whole crisis around getting the kids back in school. There's this entire situation around Cuomo and the governor of Michigan and Whitmer and the governor of Washington, Inslee, who basically sent COVID-infected people into the nursing homes, and there were massive deaths as a result. And this has exploded in New York, especially. But so all these sex scandals emerged around Mario Cuomo, the governor, in order to detract from what is going on in what was done to the nursing homes. All these efforts were made to prevent the treatment of the disease. They're pushing the vaccine, but the vaccine isn't getting out. The whole thing is placing the political advantages of the lockdown over the health of the population. This is what you're dealing with. It's this political, the politics of keeping the country locked down, keeping the discourse down, keeping the human interaction down, because this is the move towards what the LaRouche movement used to call back in the 70s fascism with a democratic face. And this is what it is. It's a Mussolini-style fascism, where eventually they're going to give people a universal income, but not development. And you're going to get like peanuts, and you're going to accept the peanuts, and you're going to live in a fascist society. This is what they called it back in the 70s. Fascist is corporativism. It's corporative fascist with the democratic face. So this is what you're looking at. And then the defunding of the police is very important about that, because you want to break down the structure so that you only have the people who are rich, the elite, you have the government functionaries, and that's your power. And the rest of the society is basically the rabble, you know, the bread and circuses and so forth and so on. This is where they're headed, and there'll be surveillance. There'll be some kind of capability to influence people by threatening to cut off their universal income, and that universal income will be necessary to pacify the population when they lose all their savings, when they lose all their investments and their retirement funds and so forth in the Great Reset. So that's what they're preparing. Now, is that going to wash? Is that going to go down? Is it going to go down without some resistance? Yes, there's going to be massive resistance. And that massive resistance is going to manifest itself primarily in the areas where you have a population that is opposed to this, which are primarily the red states, and in the suburban and rural areas of the blue states. Now, what Donald Trump did during his 4 years, which is not discussed, is he actually moved to build up the physical economy to a significant degree by cutting down the regulations, and by creating an investment climate, and by beginning the process of reshoring U.S. manufacturing from abroad, and many other things that he did. So the impact of the COVID lockdown on the physical economy was not very great relatively to what it could have been. So there is an economic base that was maintained, if not expanded somewhat, during the Trump era, which is very crucial to the future of this country. That's the base that is going to be taken down. And as the taxes kick in around the carbon emissions, and as the gasoline prices rise, as the circumstances of life get worse, there's going to be massive resistance to this illegitimate government, and not just from the Trump base, but from progressives and others. So it's how you actually transform that resistance into policies, how you transform that resistance into changing the nature of the Republican Party, taking it from a party of Lincoln into a party, taking it from a party as it is now into a party of Lincoln and the working class. How do you transform the local political scene? All of these things are now at play. So we're entering this incredible period of confrontation, of a revolutionary resistance to fascism is emerging. And the outcome is not clear. But everyone who listens to this needs to take stock of their own more soul and recognize that this is the time to actually fight. This is the time to actually get involved. And that should be done. So on that note, I'm welcome to see you a week from now.